Data is a first-class citizen within the FYTT athlete development platform. Metrics are your primary tool for tracking health and performance measurements and for prescribing individualized training to your athletes. Every team has a metrics hub. This is where you can create metrics, record measurements, and view historical data for athletes on the team. The Metrics Hub utilizes our unique Power Grid functionality, which provides a familiar and intuitive interface for managing athlete data. The Overview Grid, which is the default view for the Team Metrics Hub, is organized with a row for each athlete on the team and a column for each metric utilized by the team. By default, you start out with two built-in metrics for height and weight. The grid displays each athlete's most recent measurement within the selected date range, which can be modified using the filter at the top right of the grid. Changing a cell value will create a new measurement or update an existing measurement for the selected athlete and metric as of the filter date, which defaults to today. You can right-click on a cell to open up the summary view on the right-hand side of the screen. The summary view shows you all the measurements for the selected athlete and metric within the active date range. With the grid cell selected, hitting delete will delete the athlete's most recent measurement for the given metric, which you will see reflected in the summary view. Let's now create a custom metric to start tracking data for the key indicators of health and performance that we care about. As a simple example, we'll create a metric for recording back squat 1 rep max. We'll call it back squat 1 RM, and we'll specify weight as the measurement type, because weight is the primary dimension being measured. We will also specify back squat as the exercise that is performed for the test. Under measurement specifications, you will notice that weight is already checked, since it is the primary measurement type. We'll also check the box for reps and enter a value of 1. While reps is not the primary dimension being measured, it is an essential variable in the performance of the test, so we want to spell it out. Next, let's scroll down to the More Settings section to add a description with some instructions for performing the test. As a general best practice when creating metrics, try to provide clear and concise information about performing the measurement. It should be clear what is being measured and how, because other coaches or the athletes themselves might need to understand how to execute the test. Clicking Save takes us to the metric grid for our back squat metric. This view still has a row for each athlete, but each column is now a measurement date for the metric. We can immediately start adding measurements for our athletes as of today, or we can click the plus button above the grid to add a different measurement date. Right-click on a column header to delete an entire column and its measurements. When we head back to the Overview Grid, we'll now see our back squat metric in the list on the right. If we want to add it to the overview, we simply check the box in the list, and it now has a column on our grid. You can click on the metrics column header in the Overview Grid or on its row in the list to get back to the metric grid. That mostly covers the basics of using the Metrics Hub and its features. In general, the Power Grid has many of the standard functions of a spreadsheet. You can navigate the interface with the arrow keys, select and modify multiple cells at once, and use Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V to copy and paste into or out of the grid. Now let's quickly go over some other workflows for recording measurements. In addition to recording data through the Metrics Hub, you can collect measurement data directly from athletes through the athlete interface. You can record measurements from the athlete's profile. Lastly, you can record them through the digital whiteboard. We'll only be covering the athlete interface workflow here. To allow athletes to record their own metric test results, you can add a metric test to a workout within a session. We'll use the program building context to demonstrate. Let's say we have a 4-week strength program, and at the end of the 4th week, we want athletes to perform the back squat test and record their results. On the last day of our program, let's create a new workout and call it back squat test. Then, we'll click the Add Metric Test button and select our back squat 1 RM metric from the drop-down menu. Now, when the athlete receives this workout, the instructions we provided earlier will be displayed to the athlete, and they will have the necessary inputs to record their test results. After the athlete inputs their results and records it as completed, a new measurement for the metric is recorded on their profile, which will be visible in the Metrics Hub. Data is useless unless it ultimately leads to actions that improve health and performance, and FYTT has been specifically designed to put your data to work. You can build decision trees that automate workflows based on athlete measurements. You can build dynamic programs that serve up different workouts to different groups. You can add workout modifiers that will alter workout prescriptions if certain conditions are met. You can put together leaderboards, dashboards, and group reports to share data with athletes and other stakeholders so that everyone stays informed and on track. We hope these features enable you to maximize athlete fitness through individualized, data-driven programming. Thank you for choosing FYTT as your athlete development platform.